Don't be afraid. Be very, very, very afraid. You don't know what I'm doing. That was the trailers back in 1989 being The Fi 2, like Far From Light Sun. At the time of The Fi, what was done, as we all know, by David Boom, it was a big success and so on. And they decided, after so many years, why not make a sequel? You know, the original 58 one did, obviously called The Return of the Fi. So they decided, why not do sort of, I will say this, sort of, a remake of Return of the Fi, that being, which I just said, Fi 2. Very similar story, but to me, the Fi The Return was more of a remake than the remake. Because if you've ever seen The Fi The Return, you see what I mean. See what I mean? I actually like this one though. Over the years, this has had a lot of mixed reviews, a lot of bad reviews. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. You already heard what I said about Rotten Tomatoes, that it should be your decision, not this fucking lumpy fucking idea of Rotten Tomatoes. It's had Rotten Tomatoes, the lot, on the second Fi film. The second Fi film. And you want to know something? Do you want to know something? I'm going to offend this film. I'm going to offend it. Because this was not a shit sequel. You want to see shit sequels? Cheese 2. The Date 2. And the list goes on. They were bad sequels. Lawnmower Man 2. If you don't remember the Lawnmower Man 2, understandable. I say again, understandable. I saw it once. It was a fucking horrendous. It was a choiceless. It was a chore to sit through. They're bad sequels. They are bad fucking sequels. This one, I didn't think it was a bad sequel. Not once. I think it's an unestimated sequel. And I think it's an unestimated film. Because what you get a love story, a horror film, a cheats of feature. And you know what? In all fairness, they should make films like this now. They should. But nowadays it'd be CGI fucking hard hassle. But as we know, David Boom didn't do this one. Oh, I'm not missing with the David Boom films. He didn't do it at the time. He was doing a film called Dead Ringers. I just filmed that. I might be through that doing the road. So the one that did the special effects for the original, the 86, the Fi, who also did the effects for Demnins, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the list goes on. He decided to take the L and direct the film. He also helped out on the effects, even though he didn't do the effects. But it's his first big break in directing a film. That's why when Gremlins 2 got made, he didn't do Gremlins 2 and the effects because he was filming on this. And they decided to foil one. They was going to have Gina Davis play as a role, but when she read the script that she dies at the opening, understandable, she said no. She said no. I remember rightly, she did Earth, Girls and Easy, which funny enough had Death Bloom in it, so she got to meet Death Bloom again. So she did that. So they had this other actor, it's very similar on the scene where she's giving birth, only this time it's not a nightmare. She gives birth, it's the opening, and she dies. She gets a baby fucking maggot. She dies on the operating table, they unwrap it, they deliver the baby. Then you got a day opening. The opening is brilliant. I love the music. Some people say it's overbearing, but I felt it was epic. It wasn't a cartoon copy of the original opening. It was epic. It was flying out. Like you had the similar opening when it flew out, only with Fi 2 on it, and I loved it. I loved it. And he's now a little kid, he's a little toddler, I should say. He does look pretty fast as a kid. I also like the little lad version of, if I remember right, the Seth Bungle. It could be Seth Bungle with David Martin. That's Martin Bungle. Seth Bungle was his dad, again, by Death Boom. But I do like Martin Bungle, the little one that paid him as a little boy. I admit, he was like, Dud, it was amazing how much they look similar. And I like writing him. If I was just a little actor, he wasn't annoying, he wasn't fucking irritating, he come across being your typical Cheffer boy. And you've got this guy, he's a bit of a dick, a bit of a nerd, he wears a tie, you've got these other fucking nerds, some P unutter total fucking bits. And that's what I'm going to say on the matter. Likes using needles a lot. And there's a bit where it says, as long as you're going to live, meaning she makes out you die if you don't have a needle, which is now for using fucking, well, you find out it is fucking water. And he befriends this dog, becomes friends with this dog, and like the original, they've got the pods, and this dies like the head of the scientist. He makes out to be the little boy, sort of like a father figure to him. Long behold, he's the villain, which I always found was a very interesting villain. How many villains do you see make out to be the good guy? And they've got the pods, they put the dog in, they think the dog's going to come out normal. It comes out this deformed monster, bites his poor guy's fingers off. And follow that on later on in the film, because it really shows how evil these scientists are in this place where they've got him. And again, it shows him a couple of years later, now he's growing up, and now you've got the older Martin Bundle. Been down a lot of films. Remember him in the film Mass, very good film, based on a true story. And I think that's what probably got him the role. He originally was going to play him in Back to the Future, but instead the role got to Michael J. Fox. And I don't like the film. I mean, he meets a dude. I found very similar to how they made her look like Dina Davis, well known for being in the film Spaceballs, very attractive lady in that era. And at first they become friends, but there's a bit where that bits of a nurse starts putting a needle in his arm, and it accidentally cuts his hand. Then he meets the girl again. Before all that, they're having a party. And he finds out that they've not killed the dog because they died. The fucking one who's like the father figure says that they put the dog out of its misery. No, they fucking did not. He breaks in, the dog, you really feel sorry for it. It's this weird, horrible, demented cheat. So you can see it's in pain, you can see it's in agony, and he has to make that decision. Does he want to let that poor thing live like that? And I will say thing, because it's back to the it is at that point. You even feel sorry for it. Do you want to let this poor dog live like that for the rest of its life, or do the right thing? He does the right thing, and he puts like, I think it's like poison or something. He puts it on his nose, he pecks it at the same time, and he gives it a mercy killing. You know what I mean? He puts it out of its misery. But then it makes you feel sorry for the character Martin even more that he had to do that, because the fucking assholes wouldn't. And he meets up again with the there's a bit of bonking. But even that, it's not an excuse to sort of sit and ass like most films are. There's a story to that. Because there's this one guy, right? And he's a security guard. And he's obviously had a sneaky cham though. And they fucking lock the door. Oh, they basically kick her to another part of the place. And he gives her a videotape for Your Eyes Only. I'm not the James Bond film. And he notices he's changing, he's looking horrible, he's looking badly performed. He finds out that there was filming him doing it. In temper, he breaks in the room and he finds footage of his dad, which I chose it was just deleted footage from the original. And he breaks out and there's supposed to be a scene in it which sadly says a deleted scene, which is the same way they deleted it out of the film, because there's a scene where they go in, I think it's like Burger King or Macro or whatever, they get food, they got these annoying little fucking twatty kids, you know, these typical bratty kids that are winding him up, and he throws up acid. You remember the original, that had acid from it, and he melts the wind on, the kids are like that. Sad to say that's a deleted scene, which is the same because I remember seeing it. It's interesting to see, but that's one where I thought this would have really kept that in. I thought that would have really been pretty awesome. But they do meet the guy from the original one, the one who was Dina Davis's ex-boyfriend, who had vomit on his hand and on his ankle. Then it makes you feel sorry for him at the end. They meet him and he comes across being a bit of a dick, but you can kind of understand at this point. You know what I mean? It shows somebody fucking threw up acid on my fucking hand, on my ankle. I think I'd be a fucking prick. So at first he's being a bit of a dick for him, and then he explains to him at the end how they could fix him again, he's all badly fingered. But I was like the bit where he says, and your father, I hated him, he bugs me. I thought that did make me through chuckles there. But he's changing. I love the bit where he pulls his eyeball out and he says to the dude, if you stick around, I'll show you a magic trick you'll never forget. Iconic scene. And he goes into a cocoon. And a lot of people say it's sort of a tighter copy of the original. I've got to disagree, because if you look at the original one, Jeff Goldblum, and even the actor that played Martin Bundle on an interview admitted this, in the one in the original by Jeff Goldblum, he actually thought that it was making him strong. It was making him like a Superman. He didn't know he was going to turn into this mutant monster. In this, he thought he was dying, and the fact he turns into a cocoon, there's none of this where his fucking ears falling out and his teeth are chopping off. He just automatically goes into a cocoon. There's a love letter, and I remember saying this, where when he was a little boy, he's walking a toss, he sneaks a goss. You see a book with Jeff Goldblum, the director, on a book what this distorted dad's looking at, and I felt that was a bit of a love letter to the original director. I just thought I'd put it in. But they're about to experiment on him. He comes out of the cocoon, and there's basically a big, sort of like a monster. It's like a fire with his really fangs, really looks frightening. He does that bits with an eagles, are well preserved. He gets to die with a tie, strangles him, snaps his neck, if I remember right there. And then you've got the arsehole security guard. Remember rightly, he puts acid on his hand. But one guy I had to feel sorry for, even though he's an arsehole. He gets the worstest. He's trying to shoot him and he jumps out, fires 5 from it on the poor fucker's face, and literally burns his face to a skeleton. He's still alive and he's choking on his own blood. And he literally burns his face to the fucking bone. It's just like that. He's a skeleton. Really good jury effect, and his other guy gets a really horrible death. He falls a toss and a lift comes down. I remember rightly, I heard rumours that the theatrical one was cut down. VHS plays it because it shows it uncut. You can see it uncut now. But there's a bit of the lift goes down and it literally cusses this poor bastard's head to fucking muss, and I love it. Then the fucking arsehole gets it, the one who's security guard, breaks his bones, trying to get the fucking arsehole, knocks him out, puts him in the pod, and it flops bodies, and the lad comes out normal, and the arsehole comes out as it's not a nice word, but I'm going to say it, a freak. Comes out as a freak. He was like a mutant monster. And now they've got him like the poor dog. And it ends like that. And I love the film. I love it. I mean, it's like I say, it's a cheats of feet, so it's a monster film. The original ending, I'm kind of happy I didn't go with that. I just felt it ended beautiful. He's a mutant monster. It's fucking licking fucking dog food. It looks like dog food. And I like that ending, because I think the original ending, you show him as a lad. He's back normal. He's with the derb. And he says, oh, I feel better now. You see a fire on where he's eating his dinner, and it ends like that. I thought it was a bit of a lame ending. The ending we got, I've got to admit, I felt that was a better ending, because they all got the well preserved, and that's something else. That's something else I like about the Fire 2, like Father Like Son. What you get is a revenge film, you know. And like I said, the guy you think's a nice guy, he's a nice old guy, he's fostered him as his own son. It's heartbreaking. He has to make the tough decision, but he's a fucking arsehole. He wanted to turn him into this fucking monster. And he probably have other monsters there. That's what he wanted. He used this poor boy at his own advantage, and it misfired, and he became the monster at the end. He became the monster. And I thought the film was interesting. It was very interesting. It's a very interesting film. To me, it doesn't deserve Rotten Tomatoes. I hate Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes, my ass. This to me is an unestimated sequel. I'm kind of happy he didn't do a third one, because I felt the second one, that was it. He didn't mean to make a third one. He didn't make a fucking franchise. If they would have done, they would have, in today's era, they're fucking up with horrible CDR. I miss that era, right? I miss that era of practical effects, puppets there, muggles, muggle work, fake blood, fake door, fake faces getting ripped off, fake this, fucking metonics. The things they could do back in that era with practical effects, and nowadays it's fucking computer effects. Looks like a fucking video game. Back then, it was 18. It was ballsy. And again, it was a remake of Return of the Five. That's why I like this more than Return of the Five. Return of the Five is laughable. You got to die running around with a fake five's head on his body. There's one bit with the fucking five head's falling off and he's trying to hold the head up. It looks fucking laughable. I can't be too horrible. It was 1959, but this, for 1989, this was a dudden. This would have done it. Where the fuck did these Rotten Tomatoes come from? People say it's the worst sequel. What the fucking hell were they watching? This isn't a bad sequel. This is a damn dud film. I say it again. A damn dud unestimated sequel. I'll say it. You want to see bad sequels? Geese 2. Fucking horrendous. The only thing that's going for that is it's the first outing for Michelle Pfeiffer. It's actually been filmed before that, but this was like a first big outing. You want to see shit sequels? What's The Date 2? A shitty fucking sequel to a dud horror film. You want to see shit sequels? What's The Lawnmower Man 2? Forgettable, boring, over the top. Even the fucking stars don't even appear from the original, like Pierce Brosnan, don't even appear in the sequel. Rightly fucking so. It's fucking horrendous. Speed 2, more like a snooze fest, choose fest. They're fucking shit sequels. They're fucking Avengers sequels. This was not a bad sequel. This was not a bad sequel. Okay, killing off the mother from the original, I thought that was a bit downbeat because I can see why Dina Davis didn't want to be in that. All the shit she went through in the original one, just for the opening for her to get killed. But again, what could they do with that character after the original? So I do admit that's a bit downbeat. The Loving Test answer copies from Gina Davis in Death Goldblum, only now it's with Martin, the son. I thought Dan had copied that, even make the girl look a bit like Gina Davis on the hairstyle and everything. But again, I thought it was interesting. So I just want to say to Rotten Tomatoes, how can you say this is a bad sequel? This is not. This is my opinion. People can have a theatricity, but that's what makes the world an interesting place. This is not a bad sequel. This is not a bad sequel. I enjoyed this film. I loved this film. It's as good as the first. I always admit it's bad. The first, that's a tourist will always be a classic. This one is the second one up. Because this, to me, is a classic. It's also a dud film. It's also a dud film. So fuck it. I'm going to do what it deserves. That's what Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck you. A 17-star rating because it doesn't deserve Rotten Tomatoes. This to me is a damn dud, unestimated sequel. It's a cheats pizza. I enjoyed it. I'll do it again. I'm having a ball. A 17-star rating for me. I'm not sure that's didn't put 12 there by accident, but fuck it. I'll say it. A 17-star rating for me. But until then, be smart, be safe. See you later.